Hi guys, welcome back. How is everyone? I hope everyone's well. Uh, as we start, I hope everyone had a good weekend. Everyone had enjoyed the football, the UFC if you watched that. Plenty going on this weekend. But anyway, if you're new, hit the subscribe, guys. Smash the likes. Let's get this going. I hope everyone is well. So, guys, weekend football. It was a good week. It was a good weekend of the footy this weekend. Good Premier League action. We'll probably start with the Liverpool game. I didn't get a reaction up. I weren't feeling that well, so I'll talk about the Liverpool game now. So it was Liverpool 2, Brighton 2. Another draw at Anfield. Another draw when we were winning the game comfortably. I believe we've only won 2 games at Anfield. It was a very strange game on Saturday, a very strange game, and a lot of talk is coming up about the defensive problems we have at this moment in time, and the midfield options we have. Hi Leo, how are you? Hope you're well. Welcome. So we have a lot of problems defensively in the midfield area, injuries hitting us again. But I'm not personally not too down about it. And I'll get to tell you that in a second. Sammy, how are you? Are you good? Hope you're well, mate. I'm feeling a little better myself. That's why I thought I'd do this live. I haven't done one for a couple of days and weren't feeling too good over the weekend. And, I wanted to get something out for you guys. And so let's talk about this Liverpool game. So as I said, another draw at Anfield, 2-2 with Brighton, 3:00 kickoff. It was a bit of the first 20 minutes was fantastic, weren't it? I mean, the first 20 minutes was brilliant. Jordan Henderson grabbing the opening goal thanks to Mo Salah's assist. Great strike just on the edge of the box. It got that technique, Henderson, when he hits that ball, swerving away from the goalkeeper. He likes to do that sort of cross into the box as well. That's sort of like Henderson's technique. That's his go-to. And it was a great goal. It was a good start, opening minutes. What was it, third or fourth minute, something like that. It was a great start to the game, and we had total control. We showed Brighton were a great football team. Let's not get it wrong. Brighton were an excellent football team. On the pitch, playing the ball. There's not many better team footballing sides than Brighton in our league, and they're extremely hard to play against. The opening 20 minutes, I thought were fantastic. I say Henderson opened the scoring, and then unfortunately Keita getting injured. Now we know it's I think Klopp said after the game, we now know it's a hamstring injury because he was pointing at the ankle, I believe, when he went down. But thinking that it's still the injury from the following the game before, from the Man United game, from Pogba's challenge. But apparently it's not. Apparently it was a hamstring injury. So I don't think we've heard back yet how long he's going to be out for. I think he's just having scans now and tell us what sort of tear it is. Hopefully it's not too bad and he's just out for, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. And we get him back quite quick because Keita's been he's been one of our better players this season, I have to say. He's been excellent in that midfield. And as soon as Keita went off, Ox came on, and a midfield of Ox, Jones and Henderson is not the most ideal of midfields against a footballing side like Brighton. who like to play in between the lines, like do nice short passes, nice quick 1-2s, running off the ball. They're extremely good at that. So playing the midfield of Henderson, Ox and Curtis Jones is not ideal at all. Not ideal at all. Switch to second. Yeah, I wish I switched to second. I'll be honest with you, Sammy. But it weren't ideal. But we're still 1-0 up, and Ox was one of the only things he really did when he came on. He had this lovely deep cross into Mane in the box, and it was a lovely header by Mane, putting us 2-0 up, and we got a lot of control of the game. But I don't know what happened. Then we started to not play anymore. I think losing Cater was a big deal because Cater gives us a lot of. He covers a lot of ground as Naby Keita on the pitch. He's good at pressing. Naby's one of the better midfielders we have at pressing the ball. He's good off the ball as well, and he's good on the ball. And we lost a lot of midfield control when Naby went off. And it's no disrespect to Curtis Jones and Oxlade-Chamberlain, but that's not their game. It's not their game. Hi, Christopher. How are you, fella? Hope you're well. Yeah, it's not their game, and you know, Hendo was playing the 6th role, and I love Hendo. Don't get me wrong, but playing number 6, that 6th role, he can do it, but he needs the right players around him, and unfortunately, Curtis Jones and Oxlade-Chamberlain are not defensively minded footballers, and we just left too much to Henderson to deal with on his own. Yeah, Christopher, I saw that Fabinho's back in training. It's great news. It's a picture of him and Thiago, isn't it? Yeah, brilliant news. I'm looking forward to him coming back, so we need him bad. And so, yeah, Hendo. On these, a lot of people blaming Hendo. You know, it's hard to blame Henderson. I thought he had an all right game. But yeah, fair. He got the first goal, cracking goal. But as soon as Keita went off, he didn't have that other defensive responsibility with him. And Jones and Ox, they're more attacking players. They want to be at the final third of the pitch, and that didn't help us at all against a good Brighton team who pass the ball lovely in midfield. They like playing short passes, 1-2. They run off the ball. They run in behind defenders and midfielders. They like running into gaps, getting in between the lines. When you're leaving Henderson to do that on his own, and you're leaving the other two, it just didn't work, and it was a midfield we all never really want to see play again, to be fair, because it's just got no chemistry. Absolutely no chemistry. So he says, Robbo ain't looking like the 18-20 Robbo he isn't at the moment. I agree. I'll get to Robbo in a sec. So they're leaving too many gaps. Now, I've said this time and time again with Liverpool's defending. Liverpool have not don't defend as a team like Man City and Chelsea do. We defend completely different. We leave our 2 centre backs against whatever attack is coming against us, because Klopp has a lot of faith that them 2 can hold off most attacks. But you've got to have the right midfield to do that. And the problem is, so when you leave, like it was on Saturday, you left Van Dijk and Konate as the 2, Robbo and Trent are forward, almost wide midfielders, and then Hendo comes back as a number 6. So you got Van Dijk and Van Dijk and Konate. You got Hendo just in front of him, and then Robbo and Trent are pushing forward. That's the way we like to play. But the problem is, there's too many gaps in between because Ox and Curtis Jones are not defensively minded midfielders. They like to go forward. So the problem you have there is, so if Hendo and Fabinho are playing together, you've got 2 defensively minded midfielders. So you plug then gaps in between the gaps where the fullbacks are, because we like our fullbacks get forward. We don't have sitting fullbacks, and it's a case of why people have been saying we should play three at the back when we haven't got some of the players that we have available to us. John here. Hey, Jamie. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better now, mate, to be fair. The weekend, I was feeling like hell. Yeah, didn't feel good at all, to be fair. Neither did the whole house. But, yeah, it wasn't the greatest weekend. But I'm feeling a bit better now. Robbo's lost his cheekiness, if we get what I mean. Yeah, I do understand that. Say I'll get the Robbo ones in sec. But yeah, we've lost that. So we haven't got that defensive-minded midfield. Now, if we go back to last season, we had Genie who played every game, and loved Genie, absolutely loved Genie. So when you got Genie playing every game, alongside Henderson, if Fabinho weren't playing, you got two workhorses in midfield who will go back and forward and cover the ground if the fullbacks are forward. At this moment in time, with Fabinho injured and no Genie anymore, we only have Hendo as the number 6 who does that defensive work in midfield. That is why they're finding gaps. Don't forget, we push so high as a team. We play on the halfway line, and we play high risk, high reward football. That's what Klopp does. And you'll always play that way. There's no point going, why don't we sit back more? Why don't we just let teams come on us a bit more and be more compact, bring the fullbacks in a bit, come back 5 yards, 5 to 10 yards, bring the midfield back 5 yards, and then counter-attack with the attackers we got, because we could play that way because of the forward line we have. But Klopp won't play that way. He likes putting the pressure on the opposition team and keep going at them, keep going them until the 90th minute and using our fitness. And he hasn't got the midfield to do that at the moment. It's not the defence. The defence for me is not the problem. It's the midfield. Now we've seen Fabinho and Thiago are back in training. When them two will come back in the team with your Hendersons, and you've got that three, that's probably our best midfield three: Henderson, Thiago, and Fabinho. He's got good work rate, and he's got good technical ability at the same time, and it will plug gaps in the areas in defence when the fullbacks get forward. We won't be as frail at the back. If Fabinho played against Brighton on Saturday with Henderson, we would have been defensively a better football team, and I don't think we would have drawn that game. But when you have that problem with, at the moment, we've got no midfield of such, just got the Henderson, who's the workhorse, who will do the defending and the attacking, and will do everything for the team. But he's doing that on his own. You're going to have these kind of games where you have these kind of problems, and that needs to be sorted. It needs to be sorted quick. John, good to see you back, mate. Take care. Yeah. I'm feeling all right. The kids were a bit ill as well, and my boy, he's in the hospital and that, but he's okay. He's okay. I mean, we're all good. So yeah, I believe that's the reason. Defensively, we're having a few problems at the moment. So, guys, in the comments, if you can think of any other reason, maybe why we're lacking in that area, let me know in the comments, guys, and I'll read it out. But we have probably a problem in the back four, and some of you have said already, Christopher, Sammy, Robbo. Now, we all love Robbo. There's not a Liverpool fan here who don't love Robbo. And when Robbo's on form, and I mean on form, there's no better left back around for me. What he does defensively and attacking. Because we've got to get it right. I don't think Robbo gets credit where he deserves defensively. We all look at his attacking stats as a fullback, his assists and his creativeness. But defensively, Robbo's an extremely good fullback, and I don't think he gets the credit for that. And at the moment, he's not in the form he was 2 years ago. Now, last year I thought he was in and out of form, but everyone was in and out of form because pandemic, no fans, the massive injuries. Fullbacks work on their centre backs. If your centre back is there constantly as a fullback, you're going to be a better fullback. So when all that's missing, that's going to be worse for you. But Robbo's got Van Dijk back now, and he's got Ali back in goal. So confidence-wise, that shouldn't be a problem. But at the moment, getting forward, it's not his defensive ability. Sometimes he switches off. I think it was for Brighton's equaliser, I think it was. So if Robbo got level with Van Dijk, I think it was at the time. If Robbo got level with Van Dijk, I can't remember the Brighton player who scored, Belgium lad, Trossard, is it? Yeah, Trossard. If he got level and just stayed level with Van Dijk, Trossard would have been offside, and they couldn't have made that pass, so he'd have had the shot instead. But Robbo just stayed too deep. He just stayed too deep, and he's not switching on, and that's not Robbo's. He's just not with it at the moment. Sammy Lamptey's a good fullback. Yeah, I agree. Lamptey is a good fullback. He's defensively good as well. Everyone looks at him because he's nippy, he's quick, he's got a good final ball on him, but he's a good defender as well, especially for his size. John, my team for Champions League is Trent, Matip, Gomez, Creek Scouser. Is that because you can't spell his name, John? There you are. I can't either. Hendo, Morton. He's gone Morton. He has gone Morton now. Tyler Morton, isn't it? He's. I'll get to him in a minute because I really like this kid. I'll take it as Taki, Mane, Origi, Salah. You are mixing it up there, John. That's a mix and half. But I understand what you mean. I'm going to get to that in a minute because I agree with you in some way. Sammy, nearly all your midfielders are injury prone. Yeah, that is a problem. We do have a lot of midfielders. That's the thing. I think we've got like 8 midfielders, and that's a lot. It's not the amount of players we have that's the problem. It's the players we have are injury prone midfielders, and that's where people who are upset with FSG, they wanted them to get at least one midfielder in to replace Gini. But that's for another video. You guys need to tighten up for the West Ham game. Hopefully Fab is back. Yeah, so getting to this midweek game, I'm just going to continue the Liverpool talk, and then we can talk about the other games. But so I'll just go off a bit with this midweek game. So I will do a full video on a preview for the Liverpool Atletico Madrid game after Klopp's press conference, and I'll put a video in the news and all that. But let's just go on what we think at the moment. So we got Atletico Madrid on Wednesday at home at Anfield. I'm more concerned about the weekend's game against West Ham. That is the last game before the international break. For me, we're going to go through this group anyway. We've got 9 points. We're going to go through this group anyway. We only need 1 point out of our next 3 games. Yeah, it'd be nice to just get that point against Atletico Madrid, and then the next 2 games in Champions League, we can play reserve teams and rest lots of players, and doesn't really matter. I mean, first and second in the group doesn't bother me as long as you're through the group at the end of the day. You've got to play the best to win the title at the end of the day anyway, so don't being first and second's never bothered me. So the Champions League game, right, John says here, he's gone for this team. He's gone Yeah, he's got Matip, Gomez, Simi, Endo, Morton, Tiggy, Mane, Origi, Salah. And I can understand why. But see, Hendo. Thing is, Fabinho and Thiago are in training. It was said today on Twitter. There were photos of them. They're in full training. They're in full training gear. They're with the rest of the team, so they are in full training. So, would everyone here want to see Thiago and Fabinho playing straight away against Atletico Madrid on Wednesday in Champions League, or rested and waited for them to play against West Ham? Because for me, the West Ham game is more important, because we are going to go through this group, and West Ham are in such high form at the moment. They're a very good footballing team. They're a good team. David Moyes has got them clicking, and it's away. It's not a home game. It's going to be a difficult game, and yeah, I'm personally worried about that game. I'll be truthful at the moment in time. And Sammy says, yeah, West Ham is more important. John, we only need a point, like rest players and go out against West Ham. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. This is where I'm coming from. I think the Champions League game, we got. I mean, I wait for tomorrow when we. Tuesday. I wait for tomorrow. I think Klopp will do a press conference tomorrow, talking about everything, and he'll let us know who's fit and all that. But I just don't personally. I don't want to see Fabinho and Thiago starting against Atletico Madrid, because let's get it right. Atletico Madrid can't afford to lose this game against us on Wednesday. Atletico Madrid can't afford to lose. So personally, I think they're coming to get the point. So I think they're going to sit back and just park the bus at Anfield and make it a misery night. But that don't bother us, because a point will do us, and a point will do them, and then Atletico will go on to look like to beat AC Milan and Porto. So I think it be in our best interest not to play Fabinho, and I would go. I think, yeah. I mean, Morton is a. Do you play Morton in a big Champions League game like this, though? Do you give him a go? That's the thing Klopp's got to be thinking about. You know, do I play Morton? Do I give him a go? Do I give Tyler Morton a go? Playing with Hendo and Curtis Jones. Because if you do that, Henderson's then got another defensive midfielder next to him. You know, and we've seen Morton in games, and he's defensively switched on. He looks the part. He plays nice, simple passes. He doesn't do too much of the ball. He knows his job. He knows his role. Keeps the ball moving. Retains possession, and that's what our midfield used to do not last season so much, but the season before and the season before that. We're about retaining possession in midfield, and that's why we didn't concede a lot of goals. Yeah, so it's going to be a tricky one, but I'll talk about the Atletico game tomorrow, guys. I'll do a live tomorrow night, and we'll talk about the Atletico game after Klopp's press conference and all that, and see where we'll land lies then. So let's talk about probably the title favourites now in Chelsea. Now, I don't like talking about it or admitting it, but we've got to look at them. They had what I thought was a difficult game against Newcastle, and part of my prediction was right. I actually think I predicted 3-0, but I did say I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle-Chelsea was 0-0 at half-time, and then Chelsea came strong towards the end of the game and won it quite comfortably. But it was a potential banana skin just because the feel-good factor up in Newcastle. But as I said, that sort of died down quite a lot, you know, because they've not got a new manager. I don't know what they're doing up there. How can they not have a new manager in yet? Barmy. Might as well just kept Steve Bruce till the international break, then got rid of him, then got a new manager. It makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. But you got to give Chelsea their dues. They've got a lot of players out at the moment, you know, a lot of big name players as well, but they just keep rolling. And you know, Thomas Tuchel is obviously a very good coach. Yeah, there's no getting away from that. We might not like him, we might not like Chelsea, but got to pay dues. He's obviously a very good coach, but he has got the assets to be a very good coach. And I mean, he spent what 300 million or whatever. Well, he hasn't spent it, but they got spent 250 million. He came in after Lampard, didn't know how to tie shoelaces. Now they manage a club, and then he took over. He's a very good coach, but he's a very defensive-minded coach, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, if you get your defence right first, attacking will come second, and you'll start scoring goals, and that's what Chelsea are doing. They're looking very strong. I just find it hard to find where Chelsea are going to drop points at this moment in time. I mean, they had Kovacic out, Werner out, the £100 million pudding up front out, and they had players out, and they're still churning out results. Reece James gets 2 goals, looks fantastic, and then obviously get the Trent things from Chelsea fans, but they haven't got a clue. And Chilwell looks good at left wing back, but they look good, and at the moment they should be title favourites. They should be, and the season's long. We've only played 10 games. I think a lot of Liverpool fans get too carried away, saying, "Oh my God, yeah." I've titled my video, it was a poor draw against Brighton at home. It is another poor draw. We should have beaten Man City. We should have held on for that result. We should have held on and beaten Brighton as well. We'd be top of the league. It's just these little things. You can't draw too many games in a season. You draw too many games in a season, and you're not going to win the league. I think we've drawn 4 games already out of 10 matches. So we do have to be careful there, as I say. We can't continue drawing games. But it's only 10 games gone, guys, and we're 3 points behind, and we spent F-ball in the summer, 36 million, and most of that was recouped. So, net profit of 0 probably. I mean, don't get too unheartened, guys. We're 3 points behind a very good squad of players in a team that is very well coached in Chelsea. And I think we're doing well, so people shouldn't worry too much. John, why not clock done it? It's when you were still young. I'm wrong. Yeah. No, I agree. We're still unbeaten, only 3 points behind Chelsea. Yeah, exactly. No way they'll keep this up for me. Yeah, I mean, they obviously go drop points sometime, but we just got to make sure we stay as close behind them as possible to when they do drop their points, we can take advantage. So if the gap gets too big and they drop points, it's not going to matter. That's what we've got to be worried about. I'm still worried that Chelsea attackers don't score. It's always defenders. Yeah, that is one thing. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, isn't Reece James their top goal scorer? Or something crazy like that. But that is what that is where they might become unstuck. Eventually, that ain't going to keep happening, and you're going to have to get your attackers to score goals. You got Shy Havertz up front. Even in the 7-0 Norwich romping, Shy Havertz, he was nowhere, was he? He looked scared of anything. Werner, I believe he was born offside. I think his mum gave birth just in front of the defence, and he was just born offside. That was Werner. And then you got Lukaku, the £100 million pudding, who's a flat track bully, and can't score against a big team. So eventually it will come back to bite them. But at this moment in time, we just got to make sure as a team we stay in touching distance of Chelsea. So when they do mess up and something does happen, we can take advantage and keep up and take advantage of that. That's what we need to do. So we just need to keep going. It's not the end of the world, guys. We're doing all right. Yeah, so Sammy. John, big question is, would you have taken this at the start of the season? I would have beaten your hand off it. Exactly. This is what I'm trying to say, John. We're 10 games in, 3 points behind a excellent assembled Chelsea side with a very good coach in Tuchel, who can spend what they want, pay what they want, and have replacements for replacements. You know, we have got a good team. We've got a good first 11. You know, let's not get it wrong. If everyone could play their first 11 every week and no player ever gets injured, and you just play your first 11 against everyone else's first 11 every week, we win the league. I think we have the best first 11 in the country. I really do. And I can't see anyone arguing that, to be honest. But where we're noticing it now, with the injuries in midfield and the defensive problems, it's not really down to the defence so much. As I said earlier, it's that midfield where it's not doing the job it did even last season or season 4 and season 4 that, where it was the workhorse of the team. You know, that midfield works so hard regaining possession and keeping possession. You know, and at the moment we're not doing that in our midfield, and that's why the defence is getting exposed. I mean, it don't matter who's your defenders. You can have all the best defenders in the world in your back line. If they're exposed every single week, people are still going to score goals. The midfield needs to help. But yeah, of course, I would totally take where we are at this moment in time, 3 points behind Chelsea. We're 2 points behind Man City, guys. Let's not forget. No one talks about Man City. Man City seem to get away with it all the time. I'm going to come to them. Sammy Site plays like someone was trying to download Mahrez and stopped at 27%. That's a good one. I agree as well. John, we probably have the best 11 in Europe. It's hard to disagree with that, mate. Look around. You know, there ain't many better. Injuries is our problem. And we haven't got the squad depth to handle injuries. That's the big problem here. I like that one, Syach. Yeah, that's Syach. So I remember when Liverpool fans were up in arms that we didn't buy him. One thing I will say, with our scouting department, when we look at a player, most of the time, apart from a few exceptions, we get it right. I mean, who would have looked at Robbo? You know, all the analysts, all the scouting, all the work you do to buy players now that people look at. We looked at Robbo and went, you know what? He's going to be the best left back in world football one day. Who would have thought that? You know, you don't have to buy the mega superstars. You know, there's quality players out there. I'll tell you one player. I absolutely adore this footballer, and people know if they see me, I talk about him all the time. And that's Jarrod Bowen. I think Jarrod Bowen at West Ham is a fabulous footballer. I know Declan Rice is getting all the praise at the moment, and rightly so. He's a good footballer. I think Jarrod Bowen's special. I think he's a fantastic footballer. And what you're meant to do, what good football teams do, they buy players to suit systems. Yeah. So you look at PSG, they bought Messi. Does Messi suit PSG's system? Might be one of the greatest players ever, but he's coming to an age now where he's slowing down. Does he suit their system? At the moment, you'd say no. All right. I'm not saying Bowen's like world class or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but I think Bowen is a fantastic footballer, and he's good with both feet. He's quick, and in our system, in a Liverpool system, I really think Bowen could be a really good option, especially off the bench. You know, I really think he'd be a really, really good option off the bench, Jarrod Bowen. And there's the Dan Cat. I moved the chair and everything around, and he still gets here. No, Bowen. I think in our system, I wouldn't mind Liverpool going for Bowen in the summer. I really wouldn't. Yeah, I think in our system, the way we play, as I say, he's good on both feet. He's got good balance. He's got great work ethic. He's a hard worker. Seems like a really nice lad. Good personality. He's quick. All that for me. He sounds like a Liverpool player in this Klopp system. And people might laugh at it, Gerald Bowen and all that, but I really do think he would be a good player. Um, John, see something yesterday. That league is between Man City and Chelsea. How that works? Oh no, Man City. No one talks about when Man City lose and get smashed up or beat, or that they spent 100 million on a player, but they're still 2 points behind a team that hardly spent any money in 3 years. No one says anything. Love it when people write us off. Yeah, same mate, same. PSG United don't have systems. They don't have systems. Well, a system, if they do have a system, it's a shit system. John, yeah, you got to love the bloody cat. So he's the star of the show, mate. I should just have him on. I'll do a voiceover and the cat can just sit there. That should be a video. So where was we, guys? So, yeah, Bowen. I mean, he might be crazy, but I think Liverpool should go for him. Well, so Chelsea, I will put them as favourites at the moment. And then I'd put us second favourites and City third favourites, or joint second favourites. I don't think there's much difference between us. I really don't. Man City get away with a heck of a lot, and it annoys me sometimes because Liverpool drew against Brighton. Brighton are a very good footballer. I know the week before Man City beat them 4-1. Man City do that. Man City are a great football team. But they've lost 2 games this season. Liverpool ain't lost a game. I haven't lost a game in Europe. I haven't lost a game in the league. And we score a lot of goals. And you've got the best forward in world football. But as soon as we draw a game or something like that, it's like, oh, Liverpool this, Liverpool that. And can they really handle it? And blah, 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 blah. Man City lose at home to Crystal Palace and have so much ill discipline in their team. Every time Man City start to lose a game, or it starts to get on them too much and they get a bit upset, they always lose discipline, Man City. Always have done them, Pep Guardiola. Always have done. And they always get rattled. They're so easy to rattle, you know. So easy to rattle Man City. If you can get into Man City and get at them, you know, and get in their heads, they're very, very easy to rattle. And, you know, no one talks about it. It's like, oh, Man City lost, don't matter. You know, it's like Liverpool draw at Brighton and the world goes nuts. I know it's because, you know, Man City are not that big of a team compared to Liverpool. Liverpool are like a million times bigger than what Man City is as a team with a following and all that stuff. It makes more paper talk about Liverpool than it is Man City. But I thought Man City were terrible against Palace. Even when it was 11 versus 11, I thought Man City were terrible. Well, I watched the game later that evening and you know, there's something not quite. Gary Neville had the nerve to say at the beginning of the season, there's something quite not right with Liverpool. I don't know if you remember this, guys. He said at the beginning of the season, there's something quite not right with Liverpool. I don't know what it is, but there's something quite not right. It's what he said about Liverpool, who are 3 points behind the title favourites Chelsea with that massive squad. Yeah. While meantime, Man City spend 100 million on Jack Grealish, you know, who's a good footballer, but he's more Brill cream than footballer. And they're 2 points behind us, already losing 2 games. And I think, didn't they draw or lose? They lost in the Champions League. And they lost in the League Cup to West Ham on penalties. It's like, and everyone still goes, Liverpool this, Liverpool that. It's so annoying. It's just so annoying. It does my head. Sammy Greenish made a career for winning fouls. His name's special. No. See, look, when Man City bought Grealish, I went on Coppish. I don't know if you guys remember this, or I went on Coppish when Grealish went to Man City, and I said, Grealish going to Man City doesn't worry me and doesn't bother me as a Liverpool fan. What worried me and bothered me if they went and bought someone like a Haaland or a Kane, that would worry me and bother me more than this Grealish signing. And at the moment, I've been proved a little right. Um, I think they've finished the bus us wins the league. Yeah, I sort of agree. I do sort of agree. I think I think personally we'll come on strong towards the end of the season. Uh, I know we've got AFCON and all that, but I don't think this AFCON is going to be as bad as people think. I don't think Salah and that go miss 8 games. There's no way the clubs around Europe will let that happen to all their players are going to the African Cup of Nations. That's even if it happens yet. There's rumours at the moment that they're not cancelling it, but they might suspend it like they did with the Euros and then, you know, put it forward to the next one. So they have 2 in a row or something like that. That's what they might do, which will help us definitely. Sahar's a pest. Yeah, he is. He causes Man City problems all the time, don't he? I like Sahar. When he's up for it, when Sahar's up for it, he's an extremely good player. The problem with Sahar, he's not up for it nearly enough. And I think that's why he's never got his big move. He's a good footballer, though. John, familiar is something about the team. They want the league more than ever. Look at the way the players are talking like they mean business. I agree. I think this Liverpool team is all about mentality, and Klopp is all about mentality. And I think last season, this group of players wants to right the wrongs of last season and show, that's not us. We're better than that, and we'll go show you this season. Watch us go. I mean, we only bought Canate, a centre back. We have great options at centre back now. I think Jordan Henderson said we've never had. Yeah, Jordan Henderson, what was it? Weekend, or I think it was over the weekend. He was quoted in saying, he's never been part of a team that had better centre back options as we do now. And look at the team Hendo's been in. He's been at the club almost 11 years, and says a lot. You got Virgil, who I know we drew 2-2 and it looked terrible defensively, but I thought Virgil looked like old Virgil in that game. I thought he looked good. Canate, the thing with Canate, he likes to try and win the ball too quickly. He likes to come out and try and hurry the ball, and he needs to learn to just step back a bit. But I think because he knows he's very quick, he can try and use his pace. A bit like Carl Walker does at right back, to be fair. But he's only a young kid. He's only 21, 22. Gomez, 25. The thing with Gomez, I know he played against Preston and looked awful, but Gomez has played nothing. And he had a proper serious injury. And with Gomez, he takes a few games to get himself up and running again. And you got Nat Phillips. My cousin, Nat Phillips. No, not really. But Nat Phillips is he's just such an old-fashioned centre half, ain't he? He'll head anything. That man will head anything. Asteroid coming into space, nut. Back you go. That's Nat Phillips. Gotta love the man. I'm shocked that he hasn't played more, to be fair, in cup games or substitute appearances and stuff like that. They made him sign a new contract. He wants saying about, I'm surprised he hasn't been starting or cup games and coming on a sub occasionally or things like that. So I like Nat Phillips. I think he's a good centre half. CR7 City more than Grealish. They need a finisher. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, Ronaldo, we all know Ronaldo only left Juventus because Messi left Barcelona. That's the only reason. If Messi stayed at Barcelona, I don't think Ronaldo would have left Juventus. I really don't. I think he would have stayed there. I don't think he would have gone. And obviously, we're Man United here that Ronaldo may be going to Man City. If you're a Man United fan, you have to buy Ronaldo, don't you? But then it doesn't really suit the system in Man United because, it's not working there. John, they want that title in front of the fans. They won't be happy till they get it. I agree. I think this league is going to be extremely close. As I said, Chelsea are title favourites, and rightly so. We've got to acknowledge that they are a good team. But as you say, their top goal scorer is a fullback, and they're getting a lot of goals from them areas at the moment, and that can't continue for a whole season. It's just impossible to do that. Um, I just they will come unstuck. The thing is though, when you lose one game, or you draw one game, you draw another game, and you lose another game, it can happen. But we've got to be right there that if Chelsea do mess up, we can take advantage. That's what Liverpool desperately need to do. And I agree with you about the fans. I mean, it was beautiful winning the league title. I admitted I cried. As soon as Chelsea beat Man City in that game, I was crying my eyes out. You know, I'm 40 years old, so last time we won the title, I was 10. And, you know, I was in bits. You know, and no fans there. It was heartbreaking, really. Couldn't do a parade, anything like that. So I can see the players really wanting it. And you can see it from Mo as well. Mo and Hendo and Milner. You know, these players, Virgil, Ali, I think they really want to do it for the fans and try their best. You see how gutted they were when it was that we drew to Brighton at home. They were completely gutted. It did feel like a loss. I mean, after the Brighton game, I was raging a little bit. I've got to admit, I was a bit peeved. And then I sat down and thought about it and thought, like, you got to calm down, Jamie. You know, we're 3 points behind Chelsea. It's not all that bad. It's only 10 games gone. You know, you just chill out a little bit. It's too easy to get straight back. When you draw a game, you think you should have won. Feels like a loss, and you get on Twitter, you write your stuff down, you think I shouldn't have wrote that. You know, it looks daft. You know, so it's not all that bad, guys. John may be mad, but I could see Chelsea miss out on top four, mate. I cried like a baby. You can see Chelsea missing out on top four. You are mad. That'd have to be some. Wow, John. Put down whatever you're smoking. No. John, no, I don't know about that, mate. I don't know about that. I think they finished top three easy. I think the top three is the top three. You know, it depends what order. I can see what you're saying. I do think Chelsea will have a bad spell. Christmas is going to be a hard time. I'm not sure everyone's got, all the rivals have got in Christmas time, but there's so many games so quickly in that space of time in December, and that's when leagues are won and lost. Leagues are won and lost in December. I mean, look at us guys. You know, we top of the league at time, like last season in January. At Christmas, we were top of the league last season, and then you know we all know what happened. We didn't win it. You know, and we were looking good, but I think 3 times we've been top of the league at Christmas, and 3 times we've not won it. It's ridiculous. But no, John, I think Chelsea are being that top 3, mate. Oh, look at that. Look at John's gone for it. Look at John's top 4. Liverpool, City, United, West Ham. Look at John. John, put some money on it. Down the bookies. Put a few quid on that. Because if that comes in, you're going to be a wealthy man. No doubt about it. Good for you, mate. Good for you. No, why not, mate? Why not? I mean, Man United getting third, it depends who their manager is. I mean, let's talk about it, because Sammy says it here. Spurs are bad at football. They're not just bad, Sammy. They're shit. Now, I'll try not to swear too much. I don't want to get demonetized, but yeah, they're bad. They're really bad. Now, Spurs have made some awful choices as managers. Mourinho was completely the wrong choice for that football club. Now, me growing up in South East London, I know a lot of Spurs fans. And I watched a lot of Spurs. I watch Spurs a lot on telly and all that. We all do. Spurs, but when I've been growing up since being a kid, Spurs have always been an entertaining football team. Might not win anything, because it's Spursy. Can't win things. You're not meant to. That's why you're Spurs. But Spurs always played entertaining football. They're always an entertaining team to watch. A good team to watch. Fun team to watch. A Spurs fan pay their ticket. They know they're not winning sod all. They watch good football. Then you hire Mourinho. You set Pochettino. I sort of understand why you did, because after the Champions League, you got them to a Champions League final. Played us, one of the best teams in the world. They weren't going to beat us in the Champions League final. Just weren't going to happen, was it? And then even Tottenham fans knew that. And then he didn't start the season so well because you gave him nothing to spend, and the team needed changing up a bit. And you went, all right, Pochettino's no good. Let's get rid of him. And then you get Mourinho in. Mourinho, geez, Mr. Park the bus and destroys changing rooms and atmospheres. Yeah, let's get him in. And I know, oh man, he's not doing good enough. Right, he's got us to a cup final though against Man City. And if you wanted one manager in the world for just one game for a cup final, it probably would be Jose in some ways. But no, let's not have him. Let's sack him and put Ryan Mason, who looks 21 and still lives with his mum and dad, in charge of Tottenham for a League Cup final against Man City, and carry on to the end of the season. What are you doing? Spurs are just in the mud, absolutely in the mud. They're terrible. Oh, look at John. Where you have, mate, have 50 on it. What's the odds on that, John? 50 quid. What were the odds on it? Let us know. You might be minted. This Spurs situation, as I say, it's crazy what they're doing over there. And so Nuno, got to say, El Sacchio was actually titled correctly. I bet Sky Sports would regret not having that as their logo now for the game, because it did come true. And Nuno gets. I feel sorry for Nuno a bit. It was like 107th choice as a Spurs manager, and everyone else rejected the job. And they went down the list. Let's give Nuno a call. Yeah, Nuno ain't doing no work. Yeah, I'll come in. Yeah, okay. How much? Oh, yeah, I'm there. Don't you worry. How much we give me to spend in the transfer window? Oh, okay. But I've only got shit to play with. And Harry Kane don't want to be here. So what am I meant to do? Nothing. That's what you're meant to do, Levy told him. Ninth choice. Ninth choice. It was 107th choice, Sammy, not ninth. It's just stupid. It's just the ownership, the chairman, everything at Tottenham is ran so strange. Oh, John, get about 18k back. John. Good luck to you, mate. I hope that comes in for you, fella. I really do. And it would be funny if Chelsea finished out the top four. So we'll all get a good laugh at it. Better get me a drink with it. Good man. Good luck to you, fella. Good luck to you. But no, Spurs are just now they're going for Conte. So they have Mourinho, defensively minded manager. Spurs fans don't like playing that sort of football, like playing attacking, free flowing football, entertaining football. Fans didn't really get on with Jose. Got rid of him. Caused uprift in the locker room, changing room. Caused some tension between players. Called players out in interviews. Very cold. Didn't work. Got Nuno in. Poor Nuno. Nuno's a defensive, pragmatic manager. That is Nuno's style. He likes to play defensively and play counter-attacking football. Could never really implant that at Spurs because he's given 10 games, no money to turn over that team to do what he wanted. So Spurs fans are like, this is boring to watch. It's horrible to watch. We're not even entertaining. Please give us some entertainment. It was just, it's just terrible. And now they're going for Conte. Now this is nuts. We're hearing, apparently they're in London now, well they were earlier on today. Conte, his agent, management team, Spurs directors, agents, management teams, all in London talking today about a deal to become Spurs manager. I think on 280 grand a week or something like that. It's like 20 million a year contract for Conte to be Spurs manager. Now, we all know Conte. Conte is a fantastic coach, just not gets right. He does come into clubs, changes it round, and wins trophies. But he's like a year, 2, 3 years max. And he always leaves. He always gets fed up with the ownership. He gets fed up with players. He gets grumpy and moody. So Spurs are going from Mourinho, who's like that, plays defensive-minded football. Nuno is probably more defensive and pragmatic than Mourinho, boring to watch. And then Conte, who's a complete nut job, but he does win things, but he's not the most entertaining football style out there either. It don't look like it works. I don't understand it at all. Don't make no sense. Comes in, I'm coming down to meet you for drinks, Phil. Yes, John, that'd be awesome. Definitely, mate. Probably no chance happening, but yeah. Never know, mate. You never know. You never know. But Chelsea only managed to get fourth last season. I think everyone forgets that. Last day of the season, Leicester actually bothered doing something. They wouldn't have got fourth. But Spurs with Conte. Do you guys think it's going to work? Let me know in the comments, guys. Do you think Conte at Spurs is going to work? And do you think he'll actually go? Do you think they'll actually come to a deal? I know it's all sounding quite positive at the moment that he will definitely go there. And what do you think he'll do at Spurs? What do you guys think he'll do at Spurs? What do you think Spurs come back into the top 4 race with Conte as their manager? Or is this season already gone and it's all about next season? Because when I look at Tottenham's team, it's not a great team. Let's get it fair. You take Kane and Son out of this team, what is there? The bench ain't great. Defence is all right. Lloris is a decent keeper, but he's not, you know, he's on his last few years probably. You know, what is John? Down under, a big fan. Can you imagine? Fifth with Conte, Sammy says. So fifth with Conte. I mean, all this talk about Spurs, and I think they're only 2 points behind Arsenal. And everyone's giving positive feed to Arsenal at the moment. Right, so Arsenal will do it really. I've got to be saying with Arsenal, I'm a bit shocked how well Arsenal are actually doing. But I'll get to Arsenal in a minute because there was some overreaction about Arsenal, wasn't there? But Conte at Spurs, Sammy thinks fifth. Yeah, I think if Conte comes in there, he's going to rattle some cages. There's no doubt about that. I think they'll get Harry Kane playing again. So at the moment in time, Harry Kane has completely given up. He's complete. I've said it before. I said it. Me and John were talking about this last week. With Harry Kane, he's in a relationship. He doesn't want to be in anymore, but he loves that person. But he just knows he shouldn't be there anymore, and he needs to move on. And that's affecting the way he plays at the moment. So will Conte get a tune out of him? Conte get him playing, or will Levy just have to bite the bullet and sell Harry Kane in January for a cut price? Because there's no way anyone's going to pay more than 70 million for Harry Kane now, if you ask me. He's completely down tools. He's almost 29. You know, his ankles ain't the greatest. I just don't see. I just don't see him. I see a cut price for him. I really do. I see Man City maybe coming in January and going, "We'll give you 70 million for a Gary Kane up front." You know, no instalment plan, nothing. 70 million. Then Conte gets that 70 million to spend in January. Get some players in that plays his style. Remember, Conte likes playing three at the back, likes playing that 3-4-3 formation. Has he got the players to play 3-4-3 at Spurs? Probably not. He hasn't got the fullbacks or wing backs for it. Sammy, Conte made David Luiz look like Maldini. He did. John Kane's head's gone, like doesn't want to be there whatsoever. No, he don't. He doesn't at all, John. You're correct. I mean, we spoke about this, John. He's can Conte come in? I mean, if I knew Conte was coming in to be my manager, a top class manager, that would perk me up a little bit. But at the same time, I'd still know I wouldn't want to be here. But having that chance to play under Conte, even if it is for a few months or just for the end of the season, that will give Harry Kane a bit of a buzz. And I think that'll kick him up the backside a little bit. I think it will do it for all of them. But I just don't see how Conte can get his 3-4-3 formation implanted in this Tottenham squad, what they've got at the moment. They haven't got good enough players to play that position at the moment. They haven't got a good enough defence to do it either. So I'd write this season off if I was a Tottenham fan and then go into next season. If he's got money to spend, that's the thing though. Conte wants money. Look, he worked under probably the best owner in world football, and Roman Abramovich, yeah? Like him or not, Roman Abramovich is probably the best owner in world football. And he fell out with him because he didn't give him enough money to spend. You know, what a Tottenham go offer him. I just don't understand it. I just don't. Let's Conte's just going there for vibes. Just going there for an holiday. I'll go to London, you know. I'll go live in London for a year, see how it is. You know, I just don't. It's a weird one for me. Back free tax. The back free tax will be back. What with Kane? I don't think he does. I don't think it does. He wants to win titles and knows he can't do it at Tottenham. Oh, he can't win nothing at Tottenham. You know what I mean? They won the Aldi Cup. But no, he ain't win jacket at Tottenham. There's nothing at Tottenham he's going to win. He might win Player of the Year, Player of the Month, Player of the Week, Player of the Day. He ain't winning nothing at Spurs. And he knows that. Of course he knows that. And but I just think with Conte there as manager, if it was me and I was playing for Tottenham, and I know I don't want to be there anymore, but Antonio Conte's coming in to be your manager, I'd be all right. I'm going to play under Conte for a little bit. No, that perked me up a little bit. I still wouldn't want to be there, but you know, it'd give me a buzz coming into training every morning. I think that's what it'll do for Kane. But that John's not letting it go. Told you already, Joe. Big Sam's coming. Yeah, Big Sam, Spurs. Can you imagine? Oh my God. My brother-in-law is a Spurs fan. If Big Sam was their manager, man, the wind-up. Nuno won manager of the month in August. He did. He started the season really well. It's just that new manager bounced. Everyone was a little happy. But he didn't play Harry Kane then. This is the problem. Harry Kane, at the moment, because he doesn't want to be at Tottenham, is a bit of a liability to Tottenham. And you shouldn't play him. But I think as soon as Nuno started playing him again, things went to shit. And personally, if I was Tottenham, I know Tottenham fans like my brother-in-law. They said when Harry Kane's not playing, you play Berwin, or that Dutch player, Son, and Lucas Moura as that front three, you can play your counter-attacking game. And that's what Nuno did in them first 3 games of the season. He played defensively, he played his counter-attacking games, he had them 3 speeders up front, he could do it. But then Kane came back in the team, and Kane, I'm quicker than Kane, and I've got one leg. Kane is slow, proper slow. And he's slower now than he ever used to be. And you can't play counter-attacking football with Harry Kane. It's impossible. So I feel for Nuno, but he got a £12.5 million payoff. So it's hard to feel that bad for him, isn't it? But that's going to be one to watch. So let's get to Arsenal. I just want to talk about Arsenal for a second, because I think, United did score some great goals, but, Spurs were very easy to cut through, a bit like we cut through Man United the week before. I think Man United fans are getting a bit gassed beating Spurs 3-0. It's not. I think, and then you see on social media that, Man United fans are like, oh, maybe I was wrong about Ollie. Like, no, his Spurs team's dead. I reckon Norwich would have beaten Spurs on the weekend. I really do. So Arsenal. And Tron says, what Tottenham should have done is drop Kane for the disrespect he showed to the club. Yeah. Harry Kane gets away with everything. I won't say the N word. Murder. Harry Kane gets away with everything. I've never seen a player in my life go on a YouTube channel on Gary Neville's Overlap, I think it was, and go on there, playing golf, talking to Gary Neville, going, yeah, I think Man City Tottenham should sell me for about 100 million. I think that's my trade. That's my net worth. That's what my worth. What I should go. If that was Paul Pogba, all the newspapers and social media would be calling him this, that, and that, and how disgusting and unprofessional he is, and all this sort of thing. But Harry Kane can say what he wants. Does be heading. I can't stand the bloke. I've always said, fuck Harry Kane. I can't stand him. Piece of work, if you ask me. Sammy's getting to it. Yes, Sammy. That Ramsdale save have you angry, I guess, bro. And I agree. Yep. Right. I'm going to get to this. Arsenal. Right. Arsenal are back in form. I mean, they haven't lost since August. They are doing well. They're defensively better. They've found a system that suits them. And they're playing well. But oh my God, do Arsenal fans gas up their players more? This is why we all take the mick out of Arsenal and Arsenal fans, because I've never seen a fan base big up their players so much than ever. And then I see it on Talk Sport today and on Sky Sports, this Ramsdale save. I didn't watch it live, so I watched the highlights. The next day, and I was like, it's a basic save. It's in the middle of the goal. And I saw on Twitter, Piers Morgan put, it's the best save he's ever seen. It was better than Banks against Pele. I was like, I've got to see this save. This sounds incredible. So Peter said that save was better than Banks on Pele. I mean, has anyone ever watched that save, Banks with Pele? When Pele is about 5 yards out and he heads it and it's going into the corner. And Banks with what gets so far down. Do you know how hard it is for a goalkeeper to dive at their feet? It's almost impossible for a goalkeeper to dive at their own feet, yeah? Almost impossible. That's why you see a lot of goals go close to keepers' legs. They can't do anything about it if they get their leg out. Goalkeepers can't dive to your feet. Try it yourself. It's impossible. Banks did that against Pele. So when facts, Jamie. And I read all this and I heard it and all that. Everyone's going, did you see that Ramsdale? So I watched it the next day. So the free kick, I'm like, so is this the save then? And yes, he's at full stretch. So it was a good looking save. Don't get me wrong, on camera. one for the cameras, definitely. You know, I bet Ramsdale's got a picture of this in his bedroom, and he signed it himself to himself. You know, oh look at that. You know, and I'm thinking it's in the middle of the goal. It's not even in the corners. Yes, he stretched for it and dived for it, and it is a good save, and it is a good save, no doubt about it. But it's in the middle of the goal. It's just because he's positioned himself. His positioning for the shot was wrong, and that is why he's had to go so far over to save it because his positioning in goal was wrong to start with. But I can't. It's a good save. I'm not saying it's a bad save or lucky or anything like that. It's a very, very good save, very eye-catching save. But his positioning in goal was wrong. That's why he saved it the way he has. That's why he's at full stretch, but he's still in the middle of the goal. But when I first heard about it, I thought, oh my God, he's dived down to his feet like Banks did against Pele, or he's actually in the middle of the goal, but he somehow dived, stretched into the corner of the goal to save his goal. Or does everyone remember Sheffield United against Arsenal in the FA Cup when against David Seaman, when he's like that ball head and he's like got his hand and it's an unbelievable save. I thought it was something like that. That's what I thought I was going to see. I saw a save. I think every goalkeeper would have saved. I, I was like, what's going on? Sammy. I thought, what's going on? Yes, it's a good save. Yes, it's probably the save of the weekend and all that because it looked really good on camera. But his positioning was bad. And then you hear people like, I think the gal on the terrace and football terrace and Arsenal fans coming out social media. Ramsdale's the best goalkeeper in form in the league at the moment. And then who was it today? Was it Simon Jordan saying that Ramsdale's footwork is as good or even better than Edison's at Man City? I'm like, for flaming. They are bigging this guy up. And I will say one thing, Ramsdale is very good for his feet. I will admit that. He's very, very good for his feet. But I don't like Edison as a goalkeeper. I think he's pants. But with his feet, Edison is like a midfielder. It's like Beckenbauer with his feet, for goodness sake. You know, don't go putting him against Edison yet. I think Edison for the last 4 years played passes with his feet that no midfielder can do in his team. I mean, he's just so over the top. He's so reactionary. It's like, calm down. Right. I will say, I think Mendy's a fantastic goalkeeper. I don't think Ramsdale's better than Mendy as a goalkeeper. Alisson, he's top 3-5 goalkeepers in world football. But I'll tell you what, Alisson is the best at. You never see, like, John will back me up on this. You never see Alisson do a flashy save. If you can remember, anyone remember, when was the last time you saw Alisson make a flashy save? Like an eye-catching one for the camera, stick it on your bedroom wall sort of save. You barely do because his positioning is so good in goal, he doesn't need to make them saves. Gary Neville said it himself in commentary all the time when he watches Alisson. Alisson's positioning in goal is so good, he doesn't have to make them flashy saves. If that was Alisson gets that free kick shot the other day for Arsenal, he would have saved that, but he wouldn't have looked as flashy as Ramsdale because his positioning in goal would have been better. I swear people don't watch football and they come on social media, they go on radio stations, they go on bloody Sky Sports and you talk all this up and like, do you actually watch football? Because if you do, you're talking at your backside. Does me head in. Football Twitter. Yeah, football Twitter is sometimes a funniest place in the world to be. Sometimes it's like I want to pull my hair out, throw my phone off a 14-story building into a river. That's Twitter sometimes. John talks what really do me head in, how much shite they talk. Yeah, I agree. He doesn't because he reads the game so well. He doesn't need to, Joe. Exactly, John. That's what I'm saying. His positioning is so good, so he never makes a flashy save ever. And people, I have friends and family who don't support Liverpool, support other teams, and go, "Is Alisson really all that?" I never see him do this or do that. It's like, oh, jeez, watch the game. Look where he's standing in goal. He doesn't need to. There's sometimes Alisson takes a shot and he just gathers it. He just gathers it like that. And no one says anything, all right? No one says anything. I think some commentators say it sometimes. I'll give it to Gary Neville, actually. I can't remember the game, but a shot came in and Alisson just gathered it like that, yeah? Like it was a pass back. But Gary Neville was like, you know what, that might look like he just gathered it up on telly or whatever. But the only reason he's done that and not had to dive is because his positioning in goal is excellent. It's one thing I think Alisson has above a lot of goalkeepers in the world is his positioning. And his one-on-ones. Alisson's one-on-ones are fantastic. Fantastic. It's very rare that you score against Alisson on a one-on-one. And when people go for himself the best goalkeeper in form in the season in the league, it's like, what games are you watching? Because if you've seen Alisson and Mendy so far this season, you know that's ball. It's just so reactionary, does my head in. But I'd say Arsenal, they're in decent form. They're going well at the moment. You've got to give them the dues. They are going well. Lest they overhype all their footballers. Like Smith Rowe, what is it? The Croydon Messi. Jesus Christ. Just let Smith Rowe be Smith Rowe. Stop giving him stupid names like the Croydon Messi and all this crap. Just let him be. Just let him be who he is. He's a very talented footballer. Was it Jamie Carragher last week? I love Jamie Carragher. He's a Liverpool boy, ain't he? Liverpool legend. But he comes out of some daft crap sometimes. Smith Rowe is the best player in the league running with the ball. I was like, Jesus Christ. Shut up. Stop being stupid. It's just, I really like Emil Smith Rowe. I think he's a very, very good football player. But stop overhyping him. Stop saying he's better than Mason Mount, for goodness sake. Mason Mount just won the Champions League and his team were on top of the league by 3 points. And he was pivotal part of them winning the Champions League last season. Extremely talented footballer. Stop doing it. It's stupid. Let Smith Rowe just be Smith Rowe. Good footballer. Sammy, I rate Smith Rowe. Yeah, so do I. I think Smith Rowe's a good footballer. It's just Arsenal fans making him more than he should be. He's just a good footballer. Playing well at the moment. But let's get this right. Smith Rowe would have never got in the... I've said this before. Smith Rowe and Saka would never have got in the Arsenal first 11 if their transfer business for the last 5 years weren't shambolic. If they had better transfer business the last 5 years, we probably wouldn't be seeing these Smith Rowes and Sakas right now. So it's lucky for Smith Rowe and Saka that Arsenal have been terrible, that they've been able to come through and show they're better than what they got. So it's good for them and lucky for them. And it's good for England, Not that I really care, I don't really care about the international football and what players could be good for England and all that. I don't really give a shit, to be fair. But a lot of people will say it's good for England. But yeah, Arsenal are doing well and they're looking good. And they got their players back fit that were injured. And they're looking all right. They're looking good for a top 6 run now. I mean, they got no midweek games, no Europe. They can concentrate on everything on the league. Train. Concentrate anything on the league. Play the cup games. And see where they go. I'll be interested when we play them in a few weeks' time. I really will. It's going to be a good game, good test for Arsenal. But that's all this talk about Arsenal back, Arsenal this, Arsenal that. Look, chill out, Arsenal fans. You're doing well. I personally think you're getting the top 6 because I think Everton got destroyed tonight by Wolves. I only saw the Wolves. I don't know if you know, guys. Let me know the score if you know it. Everton Wolves. I know it was 2-0 at half time. I don't know what the final score was. So if you guys know, just let me know. But I think Wolves will probably beat Everton. Agent Rafa doing what he was paid to do, go to Everton and ruin them. Well done, Rafa. You know you're loved in Liverpool for a reason. So Everton, they're shambolic. Aston Villa, I am surprised how bad Villa are. I know they sold Grealish, their best player, but Aston Villa bought some good players in, some really good players, and they built their squad nicely. And they've got some good players there. I really like John McGinn. I think John McGinn's a very underrated midfielder. I couldn't see why Liverpool were interested in him. I know he's not a fashionable player to be buying, and people don't think it's fashionable to play that way. But I like John McGinn, and I can understand why a lot of teams are actually looking at him. And they got good attackers there. And, it's not working out for them at the moment. They ain't finding the system for them all, and I think Smith will get a system for them working, and I think Villa will be all right. But I'm shocked at them and Leicester. And Leicester, I don't know what's happened to Leicester. Leicester got absolutely beaten by Arsenal. It wasn't even funny. This is Luca. Big up, mate. How are you? Hope you're well. Wolves play ball, yeah. I think Wolves have been decent this season. They're just not putting the ball in the back of the net. That's all they're missing. What was the score, Sammy? Do you know? But yeah, Leicester have been terrible. I don't know what's happened there at Leicester. It might be the Brendan Rodgers factor. This might be just the Brendan Rodgers factor. He does this from time to time, does Brendan. He starts well, but he ends terribly. He's got a limit of being at clubs. I don't see 2-1 Wolves. Oh, thanks, Sammy. 2-1 Wolves. Cheers, Sammy. Agent Rafa, back at it. Gotta love it. But Leicester are just, I don't know what it is. Brendan Rodgers doesn't seem like a long-term manager at a club, does he? If you have Brendan Rodgers for 2 to 3 years, I think that's his max at a club. He gets the best out of them players for a couple of seasons, couple of years, 3 years, and then he just starts to. It's like the players stop listening to him, and he's quite cheesy, Rodgers, ain't he? It's a bit like David Brent. If everyone knows David Brent is from The Office, he reminds me of David Brent, Rodgers. He's a bit like that. He does love himself. He does talk about himself a lot, and he is a bit cheesy. But it's shocking. I mean, they still got Vardy there. He's still a good player. Iniacho, they got Daka in, who is barely used. They got Barnes, who apparently Liverpool are linked with today. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Liverpool linked with Barnes from Leicester a day. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, they got good footballers there. They got Ndidi, he's a great defensive midfielder. Tielemans, who Tielemans I like as a footballer. He's got a great long shot on him. He's a technically good footballer, but that man can't do 90 minutes. He huffs and he puffs, and that he just can't do 90 minutes. Tielemans, can he? He's the Conor McGregor of footballers. He starts well, and then there's no gas in the end. Zero gas left in that engine, and that is one reason I thought when he was linked to Liverpool and people were talking about Tielemans coming to Liverpool and this and that, and I didn't think he could come to Liverpool. It would be shattered after 10 minutes playing Jurgen Klopp style football. It'd be gone. It'd be on his arse. But they've got good players there, and where they are in the league, shocking. So I can see Arsenal finishing top 6. What do you guys think? In fact, everyone in the comments right now, give me your top six. Who you think your top six will be? From first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. You let me know who you think will finish in that top six. Because Leicester are banging trouble. Everton banging trouble. Spurs, if they got Conte, I think they could be in the top six. And if Arsenal just keep playing the way they are at the moment, keep plugging away, with the best goalkeeper in the world in Ramsdale, they could be in the top six as well. So it is shocking. Polly, how are you? Hope you're well. Jamie, do you think Klopp will go with this settlement he did versus Porto following the Brentford game and try to right the wrongs? Yeah, well, we talked about this earlier, Polly. Paulie, we talked about this earlier. So I got a feeling he won't play that strong of a team against Atletico Madrid because I think he'll want the big games against West Ham. I said this earlier. I said I think we're going to qualify through the group anyway because we only need 1 point in 3 games. We need to get to 10 points and we've qualified. So we're going to qualify through the group anyway. Atletico Madrid, I don't think are going to come to Anfield and play attacking football, whereas attacking they were at their place. And so I think they're going to be playing more defensively. So it could be a draw. So I think the West Ham game being the last game for the international game and being really important, we could say very, very close to Chelsea. And with the midfield injuries we got, Paulie, I think that'll be the more important game Klopp looks at. No, you're fine, mate. You're fine. Keep coming in. Come in whenever you can. No worries. Come in, ask the questions. I'll answer you. Doesn't matter if I spoke about this an hour ago. You come in, ask a question, I'll answer you, mate. No worries. Any question you want to ask, I'll answer you. But yeah, I think they play a mixed team against Atletico because the midfield injuries. We know Thiago and Fabinho are both back in full training. I think Thiago's been back in training a lot longer than Fabinho. So Thiago might play against Atletico Madrid, but Fabinho, we rested till the West Ham game. And then Klopp looking at it, I think Klopp will look at it and go, I could get a point from this Atletico game without playing Thiago and Fabinho. And that's the point we need to qualify with 2 games spare. So West Ham game he'll be looking at is like we've got to make sure we win that game. Firstly, to get West Ham off our backs and get a big gap from them. So that'll be a big gap between us and 4th place then. And then keeping up with Chelsea, who I think got Burnley. So we need to win that game against West Ham. So, Paulie, don't worry about it, fella. I'll answer your questions whenever. Doesn't matter when you come on, mate. Just come on. That's the most important thing. Sammy, top 6. City, Liverpool, Chelsea, United, Spurs, West Ham. That's a good top 6 there, Sammy. You reckon City will win the league? It's got to be between City, Liverpool and Chelsea. That top 3 is that top 3. I agree with that. United getting 4th, Spurs 5th, West Ham 6th. Do you know what? That probably ain't far off, Sammy. You might have that almost bang on. So it's got to be so tight, that top 6. I don't see Everton getting in there now. Not at all. Aston Villa. I thought Aston Villa would put a real fight up this year. They bought really well in the summer, even though they had sold their best player. They buy really well. They've got good fullbacks. I like Matty Cash at right back. I think he's a good fullback. They've got good players. Got a great goalkeeper. It's just a shock what they're doing. And then Leicester, the Brendan Rodgers factor. I say it time and time again. the Brendan Rodgers factor, because that team they got shouldn't be doing as bad as it is at the moment. Oh, I know you love Pep, mate. I know you do. I know you do. And I respect you for that, fella. I respect you for that. You keep shouting his name. You keep repping him, mate. Why not? Why not? Paulie, do you think scrapping the away goals might actually benefit us this year if our tally's at the back? Well, that's a good question. That is a very good question. Let's get to that. John, I see Rafa leaving Everton before Christmas. Yeah, he's done his job. He's done his job, John. You know, he's done what he's meant to go in there for. You know, the Everton board thought we're getting a world-class, a quality manager coming in who can have a bit of money and sort his team out. Rafa went there. Of course, that's what I want to do. Yeah, of course. He's done his job, John. Yeah, exactly. There's no away goals. Right, so this is a good question by Paulie. Thanks for coming on, Paulie, and giving this excellent question. It's a good one. So, guys, I've been on an hour and a half. I think I'll continue for a bit if you guys don't mind. Should we carry on? Let's talk about this then. Away goals. So, no away goals. Will it benefit us? Will it benefit us? It's going to be strange, I will admit. It doesn't really matter if you get a home or away tie, really. First now. I've both talked about it before, but how has Newcastle still got enough? I know. I'll get to that as well. I say, I've been on an hour and a half. If everyone's up for it, I'll keep going for a little bit before we go, yeah? We'll talk about these last two things. Let's talk about the away goals in Europe and Newcastle, and then we'll finish off, yeah? Sounds good to me. So, it's a strange one, the away goal rule. So, really, there's no... We always used to like the second leg at Anfield, didn't we? Because we'd get a result at their place, and at Anfield, you know, we'll go win. It's just the way we love to do it. We love to do it that way round because the away goal rule. Without the away goal rule, that doesn't really matter now. So I see a lot less tight games. So with the away goal rule, a lot of teams were set up to get a 1-1 draw away from home. You get that 1-1 draw away from home. You go back to your place, especially if the team you're facing isn't very good travellers. You got that away goal. You probably go through if you're the home team in the second leg. So that advantage is going to go. So I think you're going to see better games, more action, less worrying about the away goal. Because let's face it, you could be absolutely crap and not deserve to go through. Yeah, Spurs against Man City a few years ago. That away goal rule's taken away. You know, Spurs don't go through. You know, there's teams that purposely play for draws. You know, because of the away goal rule, and it sort of sometimes ruins the whole game because you know what's going to happen. And with that gone, you know, I think it's going to make for better games. I've got a feeling it might make for better games. But it is ruined tradition because we've all grown up with away goals in Europe. You know, away goals in Europe, 2 legs. It almost seems like, what's the point of having 2 legs if there's no away goals? If away goals ain't going to count anymore, what is the point of 2 legs? You might as well make it one leg, 1 round knockouts the whole way through, like the FA Cup. Away goals. Here you go. With away goals, someone of these fans who used to like playing at home leg first and scoring away to cause their own team problems. Just statistics, Sammy. Sean, so without away goals, we should have beaten Atletico Madrid. I'm right, I'm probably not. I think you might be right, actually. It's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. I will agree. Rome versus Barcelona, Peter during commentary was away goals too. Yes. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Exactly. So, like, we try and look. Football is the greatest sport in the world. It's the simplest sport in the world. Anyone can pick up a game of football and understand it like that. It's so easy. I don't understand why FIFA, UEFA, the FA, the Premier League all try and change it up so much. They've changed the offside rule a million thousand times, and now no one knows what it is. Just have the old rule. You're offside, you're offside. It's quite easy. Now we're having 5 substitutions. The Premier League have said we'll go 5 substitutions, and apparently that's going to happen this season. It's just going to happen. Apparently not going to wait till next season, just going to start introducing it now, so you can have 5 substitutions. That doesn't help the small teams at all. So your Liverpool's, your Man City's, your Chelsea's, your Man United's, they're going to be able to make 5 substitutions in games, and not, it's going to be better off the bench. For the smaller teams, they can't make 5 substitutions. It's not a fair rule. It's not fair. Football is a simple game contemplated by idiots. Exactly. Because they want to make more money out of it. That's the reason. They look for ways of making more money out of it because they can make commercial revenue out of it, promote it, and all this sort of stuff. And so, your away goal rule, honestly, guys, if you get rid of the away goal rule, what is the point of 2 legs? You have 2 legs because you had an away goal rule. So if there's no away goal rule, why are you playing 2 legs of football? It should just be one game, one knockout, like it used to be back in the day. Champions League was. I remember Champions League and UEFA Cup. UEFA Cup, when it was the UEFA Cup, before they ruined that competition. UEFA Cup used to be great. You used to start from round 1 to the final was knockout, no group crap, no group stuff or anything like that. You just play all the way through. Knockout football, like the FA Cup. One game, and you in the draw, you pick what ground you're going to play in. So you pick the 2 teams, and then after you pick the 2 teams, whoever comes out the draw first plays at home. Simple as that. That's how you get around it. Why play 2 legs if there's no away goals? It's a funny one. Don't make sense, but in some ways you might have more exciting games because teams are not just going to sit back and take the draw because they got the away goal. They know now they can't afford to do that. So you might actually get more attacking games. So it could work out. It could be good. But I just don't see why you would bother messing with it. There was nothing wrong with it. Paulie, we know it's so fickle. If we beat West Ham and narrative changes and the Brighton result is forgotten about. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I think me and John were saying on the air as well. We probably play a bit of a weakened team on Wednesday because it is not the important game. John, much as I hate the idea, but with what's happening with UEFA and wanting to revamp the Champions League, I can really see the Super League happening in the next 5 years, even more so when Newcastle's takeover. Yeah, let's face it, the Super League, it only went away. It'll come back. There's no doubt about it, guys. Look, with Newcastle's takeover, them now being not just the richest football team in the world, I think they're the richest sports team in the world. And with all the money coming in, Jurgen Klopp said it himself in an interview, the Premier League is becoming a Super League in a way. And the way UEFA are trying to counteract the Super League is to make the Champions League next season be bigger. So the Champions League next season was going to be even bigger, and it's going to be, what is it, 2 leagues of 10 or something like that, isn't it? 2 leagues of 10. And so that means teams have to play more games. So that means more money. It's all about money, guys. There's no good guy in this. The only good guys are the footballers. They're the only good guys because they're getting told what they have to do and they got to do it. And UEFA are just as corrupt as the Super League people. FIFA's as corrupt as them. Look what they're doing with the World Cup. They want it every 2 years. Then they want to make it bigger. And then they want to bring in teams that wouldn't qualify for a World Cup so they can experience a World Cup. Well, that makes a World Cup meaningless because a World Cup should be the best playing the best, not the best playing part-time national teams because FIFA want to give them a chance to play in a World Cup. Makes no sense. It's all about money. All about money. SW29, big up Jamie Legend of Kip. Coppish, you mean? He does. Coppish. There we go. How are you? Hope you're well. Thanks for coming in. Sammy, which legendary commentator is better for you? Clive Tilde's Peter Drury. I love both of these commentators. How they're not more mainstream in this country, I don't understand. Clive Tilsley was sacked as ITV commentator for a terrible commentator to take his place. Peter Drury's voice. There's something about Peter Drury's voice doing football commentary that just sounds perfect, just sounds right. But they're both, Clive Tilsley and Peter Drury are both better than whatever's out there at this moment in time. Legends. Absolutely legends. SW19. Welcome, my friend. John, big question, Amy. If it did come back in a different way, would you join it? For me, I'd tell them to do one rather than win the Premier League. Yeah. John, Clive and Ali all day long. Yeah, Clive. That's on Amazon, isn't it? John, Clive and Ali. That's what I'm saying. They're not on mainstream. They're not on Sky or BT or ITV sacked Clive, didn't they? BBC One. All the best commentators are on. See, I watch, fake streams of football games sometimes, and so if you're in America, you get people like Clive Tilsley commentating, Peter Drury, and all that, and we get trash. It's not right. But Clive and Ali McCoist is the best co-commentator in the world. I don't understand why. See, Andy Gray might not be a nice person, and what he said on Sky Sports them years ago about the woman linesman was sexist and wrong. And he rightly left his job in the world we live in now. But Andy Gray was an excellent commentator, excellent co-commentator. He made Martin Tyler sound better. I really like. It's something about the Scottish accent, John. Something about the Scottish accent in football. Ali McCoist is excellent, and I know I watch sometimes. I watch some Scottish games. I think I was watching Rangers Motherwell, and I was watching a few. I like watching Rangers because of Stevie and all that. And Ali McCoist commentates on their games sometimes. You can just hear him, and it just sounds beautiful to listen to. Absolutely fantastic. Paul, the trouble Newcastle is getting that big name in, playing 3-4 seasons while they're building. Yeah, I agree. I live outside the UK, so I get Drury every week. It's Drury and Beglin. Drury and Beglin. I love Jim Beglin. Liverpool legend. Irish geezer. Liverpool fan. Loves the club. Peter Drury and him work so well together. But we don't get that here, Sammy. We get trash. You're lucky, mate. We get trash. But John's question about the Super League. So if the Super League came back, I'd hope all the teams would tell them where to go, because it's a pointless. We've brought up on European football, and there's nothing wrong. I love the Champions League. When that music, that Champions League music plays, you get goosebumps still, all over your arms and your neck. I love that Champions League music, and I love the Champions League. It's the best competition in football, apart from the World Cup. Why would you ruin that? And I know UEFA, they've changed the Champions League for next season to be more games, 2 groups of 10 in the league or something like that. You all play each other, then top 4 go through, and then you have playoffs to go into the knockouts and all that. So it's a lot more games. But they did that to stave off the Super League. But they did that as well to make more money for themselves. That's the get it right. It's all about money here, guys. It's all corrupt. They're all corrupt. It's the players I feel sorry for. Paulie. I don't agree with him, man. Gray was anti-Liverpool and he had his name. Oh, don't get me wrong. He was anti-Liverpool. He was an Everton and Villa boy, and he loved Fergie. But it's just the way he commentated on football. It was better than listening to Steve McManaman say. Oh, Florentino Perez is he's the mafia boss of bloody football, ain't he? I mean, let, let's get this right. The Super League. Do you know why the Super League was invented in the first place by Florentino Perez? Why do you know why they come up with this? Because English football is too big and too powerful. That is the reason Super League was invented. The English Football League was just too too powerful, and it's too much money, and they're worried that English football is taking over Europe basically, and they don't want Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Chelseas, Man United, the Arsenals, Leicester's of this world. All these teams are getting richer um, than Barcelona, your Real Madrid, your Atletico Madrid's. That's the reason the Super League was invented again. That's the reason the Super League was invented. Because if you not noticed, when he invented the Super League and told us about it in that press conference, he said that all the clubs will get uh, the same amount as commercial revenue money each, and all the payments will be exactly the same each to all the clubs. So they all have the same money to start with, except Barcelona and Real Madrid will get a higher chunk of the money first, and then the following season it gets levelled out again. I mean, that's all because they're broke. That's why the Super League was invented, and I think with the protests of all the English teams, the English fans in this country, getting on their back, saying, no, this is wrong. You're ruining everything from grassroots football all the way up. No one can ever come through. You're monopolising it. It's not right. And now it's not gone through. And, and you go, what a hit, son. What a hit. That is probably the best bit of commentary. I mean, you still hear that now. I always say, when you hear people say, what a hit, you can't help but say Andy Gray's quote, can you? I mean, it is shocking how over Andy Gray was for that goal, considering he hates Liverpool. It was he got a bit carried away, didn't he? I think he knew he got a bit carried away, and yeah, it was a bit weird. But it is a great bit. It is a great line in commentary history in football, I have to admit. But yeah, that Super League, it will come back round again. They'll probably try and change it that you can be promoted and relegated, and other teams have a chance of getting into the Super League through their league position and all that. But I don't want nothing to do with it. And Man City and Chelsea fans go, right, we were the first two clubs to go away from the Super League, and all you lot followed, and you still be thanking us. Shall I tell you the reason Man City and Chelsea decided to leave the Super League? It weren't because of what their fans say. They made a statement because they don't need the money because they're rich enough and all that. It weren't because of that. It's because if that Super League happened and we're doing the Super League right now, Man City and Chelsea wouldn't have a money advantage like they do now over your Liverpools and your Tottenhams and your Arsenals. They just wouldn't, because the money the Super League was going to be bringing in, everyone was going to be level money-wise. We could all afford, Liverpool with Super League money, could afford to go and buy the best players that they can't now. So that's the reason Man City and Chelsea left, and I don't think it was anything different. Yeah, I'd rather say Premier League and European football. Your domestic league and playing European football is what club football is all about. Nothing else. I agree, John. Your club, your domestic league, and having the right to finish in them European places to then play Europe the following season is what football's all about. And it shouldn't be played with or messed around with, because somehow football is the biggest sport on this planet. There's no bigger sport, right? It's played all over the world. The Americans might not like this, but football is the biggest sport in the world. It's played all over the world, and it's simply sport to understand. You have great domestic leagues, and if you play in Europe, your league position then gives you a place in Europe the following season, where from that you get better revenue, better commercial revenue. You can buy better players, pay better wages, and you improve your team. With a Super League, none of that happens. Grassroots football's dead. You cannot bring youth players through. The next, my son in 10 years' time couldn't play for a youth club, a youth side, and be a professional. It'd be impossible. Stop ruining that great game. That's what I say. That's what I say. There was another question, wasn't there? Was it about Newcastle? Yes, John asked about Newcastle manager. So I'll talk about this just before we go. Liverpool play Super League club, as we know, it's died. John, I agree. When that Super League stuff happened, and it all come breaking news on Sky Sports News and all the Super League thing, and then all the top clubs said they've left the European association, they've left their membership of the European Association, and now they're with Super League and all this marketing, all the clubs had that, and then Liverpool said it. I was distraught. I was like, how can I support this football club? I've supported this football club for 30 years. What do I do? I can't carry on supporting this club. This is wrong. I feel ashamed. So I'm just glad it got nipped in the bud. And there's no way these owners can ever go back to it. There's just no way. And I don't think the Premier League will let it either. So, personally, I don't think it'll come back. But with Newcastle, not having a manager is crazy. It just makes no sense to me. Ask you a question there, John. As we said, might as well kept Steve Bruce till this international break coming up, then let him go, and then get a manager in that 2 weeks you got to search for a manager while there's an international break, and then get him in, used to the surroundings, used to the team for 2 weeks, and then you go from there. Having this caretaker manager just makes no sense. Do they really, Sammy? Is that a lie? They want Emery. Really? What is going on? I thought they wanted, was it Paulo Fonseca? I thought they wanted him. I thought that was all done and sorted. Do they actually know who they want? I tell you, I've said it. I said this to John when me and John were talking last week. I've got a feeling Rafa is going to go back to Newcastle. I've said it. It's the feel-good factor. They love Rafa Benitez in Newcastle. You see Newcastle fans on Twitter. They still love Rafa. They had a pick. They get Rafa back. Rafa's never been at a club where he's had unlimited money to spend. And that's what Rafa needs. And I think if Rafa went back to Newcastle, he's done it. Rafa's doing his job at Everton. He's doing what he went there for, make him look crap and lose. So he's doing his job there. Well done, Rafa. And they'll sack him. He'll be a free agent. Newcastle are like, should we get Rafa back? Get Rafa back. Feel good factor comes back at Newcastle. Newcastle fans are happy. Yes, Rafa's back. All the legends start to come back into the stadium. Your Alan Shearers, your Kevin Keegans, your Steve Howies, all that lot will come back. Good times to be back. Newcastle, Rafa will keep Newcastle out. He loves the place. They're giving some money in January. He can actually, Rafa knows how to buy a player. Yeah, Rafa at Newcastle. That's what I want. Like I said, yeah, when they sacked him, I really did think they had someone lined up, but no, they got no one lined up. I'm telling you, it's Rafa. They're waiting for Rafa to get the sack from Newcastle. Or if not, they just buy it. They just buy it. His contract don't really matter, does it, to them? They're so rich. Rafa is too cute. Jamie, let's not forget Newcastle might get relegated. Yeah, well, Rafa would be perfect for him because Rafa went down with Newcastle, didn't he? And then he got them back up. And then the following season, they finished 10th, if I remember rightly. So Rafa at Newcastle, he knows what he's doing there. He knows the players. He knows the area. He knows the training area. He knows everything. It wouldn't be new to him. He wouldn't have to adjust, would he? It just makes sense for Rafa Benitez to go back to Newcastle. It just makes all the sense in the world for me. But guys, this has been a great show. I've had lots of fun today, guys. Really, really have. And I really appreciate you all coming in and commenting and chatting and interacting with me, asking questions. Loved it, guys. Loved it. So I do. We talked about a little bit about Liverpool, Madrid, but tomorrow night, about 10 o'clock, same time, I'll do another live and we'll talk about Liverpool Atletico Madrid preview. So guys, don't forget to, if you haven't, please leave a like, guys. Smash that like. Try and share this video out everywhere, guys, on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can. Share it round. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. John would love for us to go to Newcastle. Just get, oh yeah, but no, I don't get the Everett one. I'd love him at Newcastle, trying to be cool. So tomorrow, guys. So as I say, please like, subscribe, smash the likes for me, guys. Help my growth. Share this out as well. Share the video out Twitter, Facebook, wherever you like. Let's get me growing a bit. What players do you attract in the Championship? I suppose the team they got, with whatever players they buy in January, if Rafa goes to Newcastle, which would make sense to me, and they spend good money in January, let's face it, Newcastle can buy their way out of trouble in January out of all the clubs down there. Norwich should go down. That's one. So there's 2 spaces left. So if Newcastle buy their way out in January, I think they'll be all right. But you've got a point there. But they've got unlimited money, so they can offer anyone money. Look at the players Wolves had when they were in the Championship. Jimenez is your Trotters and all that sort of stuff. And they still got promoted and kept them. It is a slow process. I agree with you, Polly. But we'll talk about that tomorrow if you want. I'll carry on the Newcastle chat tomorrow if you like. I don't mind. But yeah, like, subscribe, share the video, guys. Tomorrow, preview, 10 p.m. tomorrow night, guys. Preview the Atletico Liverpool Madrid game. And then Wednesday night, I'll be live again for a review. And yeah, guys, thanks for everything this evening. And I will see you again soon. Newcastle needs to go down. There you go. John said it. Put some money on that as well, John, with your other bet. Let's make a killing here. Right, guys, thank you for everything tonight. I really enjoyed that. I will see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock. See you soon.